So I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here, boys, because I was shocked to read some of the comments after I put out a video yesterday where I was just explaining that people need to be courteous and they need to follow signage when they're in a traffic jam, specifically in a construction zone. So in Oklahoma, normally there'll be a sign about half a mile before the merge point that says state law merge now. You need to be in that lane. Sometimes they use a zipper method, which they started allowing in 2018, but not normally. With the way they normally do it, we all know what happens. People cut all the way to the front in that other lane. They ignore the signage, and what does that end up doing? It ends up slowing down traffic, and some guys, usually truck drivers, will end up getting in that left lane just to be the pace truck, to keep pace with somebody in that right lane to set things back to where they need to be, and it helps out a lot. But I will say I wouldn't advise doing that because that can block emergency personnel, but at the same time I don't blame them. Whenever everybody is in one lane and you're coming up to a traffic jam, a construction zone, what does that tell you? I'll give about 3 seconds. What does that tell you? Okay, that tells you you should be in that lane. The reason for everybody being in that lane, you'll find out shortly, and it's usually a sign. Or maybe there's a crash up ahead in the other lanes. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of people that go to the very front, and that is just an asshole move. We all know. We all know those people. Now, I couldn't believe some people in the comments were saying that they think that actually helps the flow of traffic. And I was shocked. That's psychopathic saying that. Narcissistic, selfish. What a terrible thing to say. You're helping one person out doing that. We all know who that person is. You're screwing over everybody else. I don't believe that those people actually believe that. I think that they've just made up a lie in their head trying to justify a bad action. Because there's no way you can think that you're doing a good thing. There's no way, unless there's something wrong with your brain. And let's just say hypothetically, you are helping the flow of traffic by cutting in front of all those people who have been waiting there for God knows how long. Does that make it right? I'm not going to answer that, but the answer to that is pretty obvious. So I think being in a car really messes up people's judgment because they feel safe and they're anonymous and it's not personal. So let's take it somewhere personal and use a similar example. Let's say you're in a grocery line, you're fifth in line, and there's a person up at the front whose credit card is having problems running through. You're tired of waiting, so you go all the way to the front, basically the open lane. And you tell everybody you're doing this to help out the flow of the line. Now, in my video yesterday, I said you just have to let people be selfish and stupid in traffic. Now, in a grocery store, we all know you're not going to be able to get away with that. There's consequences now. You're going to be told to get back in your place in line or to leave the store. Have the courage to speak or act as if there were consequences, and you'll live a much more fulfilling and truthful life.